going to Greenland. I lived and worked in Greenland from 1995 to 1999. When I came to Greenland in 1995, there were 2 computers with internet access in Greenland at
so
the
they
university.
could email each other back and forth.
Well, you can email all of the world, as you know.
This is true. Yes.
Also from Greenland. So, and now they have the highest coverage of, I think, probably the Scandinavian country, because it allows people in the world who haven't had access to libraries, because of they were too far away, they were too costly, who can communicate now with the rest of the world, which they couldn't also because there are cost elements of this. It's a way of communicating with the rest of the world also for the underprivileged, which I think is very, very important.
How old should they be when they go online? Or can you tell me how many hours my kid should spend online?
So what do you usually answer to those dumb questions?
I usually answer 16 and a half and make them choose the unit themselves.
16 and a half, huh?
Days, years, minutes.
Kids on YouTube sitting with like a paper magazine trying to make the picture bigger on the paper like this because they're so used to the iPhone, or try to turn it on by.
Basically, it's what we see now is a struggle of who is going to rule the internet, and that is a major issue.
Regulating the internet is not going to be the same as regulating other forms of expression that we're used to regulate, even though we do regulate them. We can see that those societies that regulate less work better, and that may be a good indication of where we want to go with the internet as well.
Everything on the internet is traceable. It's just a matter of how much effort do you want to put into actually trace the information. And the question is, are you prepared to put so much effort into the traceability that it also affects the rest of society?
A lot of people feel like we're more vulnerable online, and that we've learned to live with this the offline world. People tend to overestimate the dangers online.
People self-regulate. The internet is, to a large degree, I think, self-regulated, and that self-regulation is developed and will become more sophisticated.
But so that's a social norm, not a legal text.
Of course.
We who use Google do understand that basically we pay with our own privacy. That's the currency we interact with Google with.
You could claim that internet is for democracy, maybe, or innovation or anything. But when the traces are the only thing that we leave online, that becomes the currency of internet. And that currency, the traces or the data maybe, is what governments or agencies or, for that instance, businesses are using.
How many of you, show of hands, Googled today? How many used Google today? Look around. And now my second question, how many of you used another search engine today, like Bing or Yahoo? Show of hands. See, I rest my case. Internet was supposed to be a place where we would all go do our own thing. But there's 100 search engines out there. Equally good almost.
So please name 100 search engines. I mean, that's
you
not
have
possible.
to Google to find them. That's what's scary.
So Facebook is the social platform for the non-nerds, and that's why it took off.
And the only people I know who really use Facebook are 2 Sami lawyers. Take that.
Facebook made us have the emotional experience of the same thing. This is maybe the first time that we've had a space where we could express that I'm not here as in my role as a mother or as a teacher or something else. I'm just me.
I don't share your optimism about how well our generation or the generation following us is actually using this kind of technology. The printing press gave the power of writing to a new elite and took the power of writing from, or the power of information dissemination from the state and the church. It did not actually put the power of writing into everybody's hand. But that's not the point of information technology. The new thing with the internet or IT or computers is not the production of text. The new thing we can do with this, which we could never do before, is to build systems, living things.
The importance of this expressing yourself,
Sure.
Because I think that's maybe the most important change with the internet, that marginalized people, traditionally marginalized groups, can express themselves. Whoever listened to a 14-year-old girl before the internet? Absolutely no one. Lonely people who are alone with their views are not alone anymore.
I think you did touch on it when you talked about the activists who helped organize the revolution in Egypt, that it's not just a 20th century problem with the collapse of the public into the private. If a new government comes into power and it say doesn't like people of a certain political color, and then if they're able to piece together my political profile from the data traces I've left online, then it's very much a problem even in the 21st century with the collapse of the public into the private. And one solution is, of course, self-censorship there as well. You don't write anything about your political views on Facebook, because then Facebook has access to it, and possibly others as well.
But I don't even need to read your Facebook page. I can just ask Google, and they will tell me which blogs you read or which newspaper articles. So if you're a Guardian reader, for example, I already know that. So I have you pegged down just from the other traces you leave. You don't even actively yourself have to tell me.